Okay. Why am I getting pinged the moment? Oh, okay. Alright. So last we left off. Let me pull up one more thing. Actually, oh yeah, I need to pull up the ambience music. I keep forgetting to pull up the ambience music. Green Valley. Unfortunately, Neurobot doesn't have a loop feature, and because Green Valley Forge isn't exactly very long, I gotta queue it like 5 times over, but it's fine.
Yeah, but it's good. We're fine.
Okay. Turn Neurobot down just a tad. Okay. You awaken once again in the tavern. Still a bit exhausted considering you spent the entirety of last day moving around the continent fighting giant snakes, etc, etc. But after returning a bit later into the night to the tavern, you got a good night's sleep and have awoken in the tavern again. Recalling the past few days' experiences, you remember waking up in this world, not sure what to do, a fallen angel, encountering a Syntrex, having to sleep in your pocket dimension, eventually getting saved by the Wood Elf Roland, who defeats it for you, and finally arriving in the city of Gheldon in the nation of Sauwalonia. You learned a few things about wind magic, you got registered as an adventurer, and met Galavan and his party of adventurers. Now it is a new day, and a new adventure awaits you. What do you do? First.
I get up remembering that I have to go to the Adventurers Guild to claim the reward for the worms we killed
Snakes, but yeah.
yesterday. Snakes, worms,
They're
snake worms.
half worm, half snakes.
Okay.
Okay. You get up and greet the morning sun, stretching a bit, stepping out of bed, and walking out of your room. You step outside, and the tavern keep offers you some breakfast. You can take it or head on over to the Adventurers Guild without it.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take.
You decide that before you leave, you might as well take the free breakfast. You sit down and request some, and they bring out the same meal that you had yesterday with a bit of variation on the berries and the nuts. But other than that, yeah, generally the same thing. Regardless, it's still good. You spend 10 minutes eating and head out to the day. Yeah, you step outside of the tavern, once again greeting the city of Gheldon, and begin on your walk to the Adventurers Guild. You remember the path this time and arrive there in around 10 minutes with no problem. And yeah, you arrive with no problem and enter the Adventurers Guild.
Alright. I try and look around for Calvin.
You look around the guild looking for Galavan and his party and quickly spot him in the far left of the room.
Good morning, Galvin. How have you been?
Oh, it's you. Yes, good morning. Did you sleep well after our last adventure?
Yeah, slept like a baby. How about you?
He says, oh, we slept fine. He stands up and smacks you on the back again. So you're slowly getting more used to it, and this time you're not falling over every time. But it still definitely knocks you a bit for a bit. He asks you, and then he asks, what are you here for, kid?
To claim the rewards from yesterday.
Oh, right. Yes, almost forgot. We went ahead and already collected the reward, and we split it evenly amongst the 5 of us. So here is your split. He hands you the bag, and you open it. Inside our. Well, he opens his hand, and you open yours, and he hands you 3 gold coins.
Oh, thank you. This is what we got for yesterday?
He says, yeah, the Lackery are quite formidable enemies that terrorize the Kinshin Desert. We're actually quite high, even high-ranked adventurers have trouble taking them down. Without you, it probably would have been much more of a struggle for us, and I doubt we would have been able to take out even 2 before the day's end. So, and since the quest only called for 2, but we managed to get a 3rd, they compensated us extra. So each of us got 3 gold apiece. That includes you.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
Don't worry about it. For also, your pocket dimension skill allowed us to bring the bodies back also got us more money. And so he opens his hand and hands you 2 extra gold coins, saying, "This is the money that was made from those corpses. We figured that since you were the one who was able to bring them back, you deserve the money."
Oh, thank you so much.
You have acquired 5 more gold coins, bringing your total up to, I believe, 19.
Yeah. About 19. That memory says right. Yeah, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what are your plans now, then?
He said, "Oh, you know, same old, same old. Our party has been wandering around the cities of Saulonia for about half a year now. We've taken a liking to the city, especially its natural feel to it. So we'll probably continue doing our doing, helping out the people, hunting monsters, the adventurer's life, you know."
Alright, then. Hey, is there any places that I could visit around this territory? Or this land? Is there any places I could visit around this land?
What do you mean by places? Anything in mind?
Not really, but I do want to travel some places. No, stop by.
I see.
Look at the land. Seeing how I could fly wouldn't take me too long.
Yes. Well, if you're asking for places in Saulonia, I can give you a few places.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yes. Obviously, there is obviously within the kingdom there are 4 cities that don't include the capital. So we're currently, as you know, we're in Galdon. You can go to the southeast city, which would be the farthest from here, Tonkalor. There's the northeast city, Winfield, southeast of here, and there's also south to the south, and to the southwest there, which is just south of us. There's Hildred. In particular, and then of course the capital city, which sits in the center of Saulonia, is Haeldradia, which is founded by our great leader and first Wood Elf King Haldrados, which is, as I think you can assume, where the forest got its name from. Yes.
Yeah.
So any of those cities, and if I had to recommend one, I recommend Winfield. It's the main port city and where a lot of trade comes in from. You want places to work, a place to buy goods, maybe a place to learn, a place to travel. Winfield's your best bet. We were there. You may remember, we were there yesterday, and we took the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we didn't get that much time to explore the city because we were on a quest. However, if you want to head back, you might have more of a chance to actually explore.
Alright, then. So, thank you for that information. Well, I think I'm probably gonna head out now. Probably gonna go to the libraries again.
The what?
I'm probably gonna go to the library again.
You mean the Mages Guild?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, if you ever need a party to team up with again, we'd be happy to have you.
Alright, then. I wish you all good luck.
See you around, kid. Galavan waves goodbye as you leave the building.
Alright. Hold on, I'm just writing a few things down.
Oops.
Alright, should be good for now.
Okay. Just typing something. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I recognize that I probably should have made a notes folder for myself sooner because there are some minor facts that I do need to remember for the sake of consistency. So yeah, for anyone, yeah, if some things seem inconsistent in your second or third session, that's likely because I forgot to write things down during the first section. But we learn. I mean it's my first time doing this, so we learn. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take, yeah, especially things like prices, because I realized I forgot to write down the prices of the books you bought. So
well, I think there were.
yeah, I know
Seeing
you.
how I have only
Yeah, I know you.
14.
Yeah, I know you spent 6 gold, and I'm trying to remember how much it cost. For the sake of consistency, I'm just gonna say that because I know, wait, Dread, you bought the you said you bought the basics to lightning magic for like
Yes, I did.
it was
Yeah.
15 silver, right? Do you remember? Okay.
Yes. Well, I think it's on my memories, maybe. Let's see.
Oh yeah, probably. You took a lot of memories, so it might be in there. Let me check. I need to write this down for consistency because Elpis has also bought magic books, and so I need to know. Okay, hold on.
Let me just edit that.
Did you say?
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, you didn't say how much it cost. I think it was like
Oh,
I think it was like 15 silver,
yeah,
right?
it was around 15. Yeah,
Okay,
around
and which
that
is
thing.
good because it's 15 silver for gold, so this adds up. So if you bought Lightning 101 for 15 silver, and if it's 20 silver per gold, that would mean Elpis, who bought who bought everything you need to know about lightning magic. We'll say that costs 2 gold, which makes sense. For 2 gold. I need to put this in parentheses. Yeah, because prices are something I do need to write down because shit like that is gonna have to be remembered, so I remember all the prices. And then he also bought light 101, which cost 4 gold, which makes sense because it's light magic. Okay. Yeah, I need to remember prices from now on because otherwise that's gonna be inconsistent and we can't have that. Okay, we can start again. You wave Galavan goodbye, definitely enjoying the encounter and hoping that one day you into them again. But for now, you need to you head over to the Mages Guild with your money.
Alright. Hello, it's me again. And I kind of wanted to ask if you had any books about this world.
The receptionist looks at you and says, and she asks, if you're looking for knowledge books, then you're in the wrong place. The only books you're gonna find here is books on magic. If you want a magic essentials book, I can get you that. But if you want books on knowledge, I'd recommend the library in Haeldradia.
I'm sorry, where?
She says every single capital of every elven nation has a library in its capital city because us elves tend to be very knowledgeable creatures. So if you want to gather knowledge on the world, I'd recommend the library in the capital city of Haeldradia.
Okay, yeah. Alright, thank you. Might as well buy. Do you have the book on light magic?
You already bought one, remember?
Yeah, might as well get the full thing then.
You bought Light 101,
Yeah, I am.
so if you bought the full guide to light magic, it would just be wasting money.
Yeah, you know what, that's you know what, fine, I'll just get it later. Alright then, thank you for that information. I'll be heading off then.
Alright. She waves goodbye to you.
Right. Well, I'm gonna see if I could maybe. Can I fly to the capital?
You can try.
Is that I don't.
Don't ask me what you can and can't do. I'll tell you after you say it. I don't know. You just know. I don't know if you mean whether you succeed is a different fucking story.
You know what? I'm just gonna fly to the capital.
Okay. Although I mean, you mean you don't know where it is, but
Yeah, I don't know where it is. But... Oh wait, I could just ask the direction.
no
Maybe.
shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna ask a random civilian where the capital is.
You walk up to a local wood elf and ask them kindly if they knew how to get to Haeldradia. The wood elf looks at you and says, if you want to get to if you want the capital city, yeah, if you want to get there, you're going to have to purchase a guide or find someone find a wood elf who knows the way. The capital city is completely surrounded by trees enforced by magic, making them create an illusion that can get you easily lost in the forest if you're not a wood elf.
Oh, I see. Okay then. All right, thank you. And is there any guides I could talk to, or
Your best case is
no?
your best bet is to yeah, there's a guide, if you go to the Adventurers Guild and put in a request, they can find someone for you.
All right then. Thank you. Well, I'm just gonna head back to the Adventurers Guild once again.
Mm-hmm. In order to find a guide, you return to the Adventurers Guild and step inside, and yeah.
All right. Hello. May I put in a request for a guide to the capital, please?
The lady at the reception desk nods and says, "Of course. Any idea when you want to leave?"
As soon as possible.
She says, "Okay." "Okay, can do. Actually, it looks like there is some guides. Some of the guides we hire here at the guild are on standby. We can set one up with you in a few minutes."
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
The lady nods and walks away and motions for you to take a seat in the waiting area while she gets the guide.
At the meantime, I open up the Wind Magic book to see if I can, learn any new skills without using the magic inside the guild.
No shit. You get the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
You once again open the everything you need to know about Wind Magic book and take a scroll. Remember that the book includes the lesser spells, basic spells, greater spells, and super spells. You assumed that super spells were likely way too high grade for you, and focus on the lesser and basic spells. You can either go through a few more basic spells, other than the ones you know, or perhaps maybe just check out some of the greater spells.
Alright. I will check out some of the greater spells.
Okay. You open the part to the greater spells, and the title and the introduction reads, "The more advanced form of magic. This tier of magic is considered the best overall tier for its versatility, power, and cost. However, this is only true for the people who can learn this form of magic successfully." There are.
Alright.
You open the book and open the book to the to the wind section, and know that there are 10 spells for, I believe. Let me see if I can count right. Yes.
No, you can definitely count.
Yeah, there are 10 spells. The list is as follows: Ariane, Greater Tier; Tornado, Storm, Fly, Thrust Propulsion, Cyclone Step, Twin Aerial Blades, Let the Wind Guide Me, Gale Explosion, and Aura of the Skies.
Ariane greater version, please.
Okay.
Sorry, I'd love to.
You read the Ariane Greater version. The brief caption reads, "This is the second tier of the air weapon Ariane. Mana cost 200, range 10 meters, cooldown 3 minutes, duration 5 minutes, charge time not applicable,
All right, is that it then?
You know, I'll you know what, I think for all future reference to make this easier, I'm just gonna copy and paste the important information into your I think genuinely I think that'll just make it easier.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, I think specifically okay, for now on specifically statistics. Yeah, specifically statistics will be copied.
Oh, you know, like the important stuff of the books is like the one thing I struggled to write down last time.
I know.
Yeah, Dread, if you want to go, okay, while you're listening, if you want to go into the basic spells and lesser spell documents and just copy and paste the
Paste them? Okay, all right, I will.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. You can do that as well, Elpis, but I think wait till after your session to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait after.
Yeah, and you read the description of Ariana, greater tier. The user creates 2 twin blades of air. They weigh virtually nothing, and when wielding, it allows the user's arms to move twice as fast. They can also be thrown and will come back to the user after coming in contact with something or after reaching the range cap.
Oh!
I do know I won't be copy. Actually, I'll copy the description as well. I think that's fair.
Okay. Alright. I mean, I could also, if you want me, I could probably pull it up and try copying and pasting them down.
No, I already have it pulled up anyway, so I'll just copy and paste it for you.
Alright then.
Yeah. Compared to the original Ariana, compared to the basic tier Ariana, this one grants you movement abilities to your arms and allows you to throw them. And they'll actually return. You can technically throw the first one, it just won't come back to you.
Okay. Okay. What's the next skill?
Yeah, the list goes as follows. Just tell me when to stop if you hear one you like. Tornado, Storm, Fly, Thrust Propulsion, Cyclone.
Stop.
Okay. Thrust Propulsion. Mana cost 140. Range not applicable. Cooldown 15 seconds. Duration 3 seconds. Charge time not applicable. The user shoots jets of air from their palms and hands, allowing for faster flight.
Okay.
I'll copy and paste it for you.
Then I would probably want to learn Tornado next.
Okay. As you skim through the book, you finally pull up the one of the spells, Tornado. Mana cost 180, range 30 meters, cooldown 45 seconds, duration 20 seconds, charge time not applicable. The user summons a tornado roughly 4 meters high and throws it in a direction. The user is not affected by the tornado's pull.
Alright, okay.
Yeah. As you continue to read the book, you're suddenly interrupted as the receptionist lady is in front of you and with the guide just kind of standing behind her. She says,
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, she says, sorry, no, didn't mean to interrupt your reading. We have the guide prepared here. And she tells him to introduce himself, and a meek-looking wood elf kind of appears from behind her. He bows to you slightly and says, "It's nice." He says, "It's nice to meet you. My name is Caleb. I will be your guide today."
Oh, nice to meet you, Caleb. Thank you for guiding me over there.
He says, of course, you said you would like to go to our capital city of Haeldradia?
Yeah, you can do that. That'd be really nice.
He says, yes, I can. Would you like to take a carriage, or would you like to just, walk? Well, I guess, run.
Will the carriage be faster? I know that sounds like a dumb question.
It depends. Us wood elves, we can use our magic. At least most wood elves can use certain types of magic that allow us to move faster in the forest, and also our heightened knowledge of the forest allows us to move faster in the trees. And if you're able to keep up, it would be faster that way. But if you can't, we can take a carriage instead. No, not trying to
Oh,
say that you aren't fast.
you know, we'll go on. We'll go on foot then.
Okay. Um, he you follow the guide. Yeah, you follow Caleb outside of the city, and he then tells you uh I'm going to head into the treetops. You can fly, right?
Yeah, I can.
He says, okay, great. So I think the fastest way we can get there, which should only take maybe an hour, is I will hop to the treetops, and you can follow behind me.
All right then.
I'll try not to
That
move.
should work.
I'll try not to move too fast, so you can keep up.
All right. Um, I'm going to use thrust propulsion. I'm gonna test out thrust propulsion to see how fast I go.
Mm-hmm. As Caleb jumps into the treetops waiting for you, you extend your wings, and begin flying. And you prepare to an attempt to fly. You now that once you're flying, you remember what the book said about thrust propulsion, and visualize in your mind the idea of jets of air. You kind of think of a jet stream almost, like the planes in your old world, and imagine them shooting out of your hands and your feet to boost you forward. You think in your mind and activate the spell thrust propulsion, and immediate um, jets of jets of air fly out of both your hands and feet immediately over the 3 second per year period that is active for. Fucking yeets your ass through the sky, and you end up way above the tree line.
Oh. Hmm. Well, this isn't what I kind of expected.
Mm-hmm. You
I fly back down.
Yeah. You fly back down into the foliage where Caleb meets you, and he says, not sure what that was, but either way, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Caleb instantly takes off the treetops, and you are startled by how fast he moves, especially since he seemed very unconfident as a person. Uh,
Yeah.
you immediately activate your wings and begin taking off after him. You can keep up with him pretty well. Obviously, he's not going at his maximum speed, like he said, and although maneuvering the treetops takes a bit to get used to it first, eventually, after maybe 10 to 20 minutes, you feel comfortable and are able to keep up with him pretty well. As you fly through the treetops,
All right.
Caleb kind of asks, "So, what business do you have in Haeldradia?"
Oh, I wanted to learn more about this world.
He said that
It's,
what do you mean? What exactly do you mean by that? Or are you just not you? He said
I
he says, oh,
yeah.
have you spent most of your life in the demon realm?
Oh yeah, I have.
Oh,
So I'm
oh,
kind of
okay.
not
So
too familiar.
you're on an adventure in the overworld then.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember much from the demon world. I
Oh.
don't really know where I'm going, so might as well learn more
Ah,
about this world while I'm.
okay. Do you have amnesia?
Yeah.
Ah, so I assume you don't remember how you got your physical form.
No, I don't.
Hmm. Well, I won't pry too much. We're maybe 3/4 of the way there. If you need to stop for food or whatever, just let me know.
All right. Yeah.
You continue to move while making small talk, and eventually, and as you get maybe 10 minutes away from Haldradia, you notice that the trees almost seem to be moving. Like not moving, but like whenever you look away, they seem to be in a different spot. It almost is confusing. Caleb, seemingly noticing your confusion, says that right there is the illusion magic of Haeldradia. Multiple elf mages are needed to constantly maintain it, but as I'm assuming you can see, it's going to be pretty difficult to find the capital city when you have no idea where you're going.
Yeah, no, it looks to be that way.
Yeah. You really are losing a sense of direction completely, and the only real way you even know where you're going is by following Caleb. Regardless, after a few minutes of this mind-numbing tree movement bullshit, you eventually arrive in Haeldradia. Caleb jumps down and lands on the ground, and you follow suit. And you are now and it's almost like the moment you get close enough to the city, the big confusing tree line seems to just almost disappear. Like suddenly you're standing in an a small open field with a big city in front of you. It's so crazy to look at, and it kind of blows you away a bit. Caleb looks at you meekly and smiles, saying, "Welcome to Haeldradia." You stand upon a big city. You thought Gheldon was pretty big for a city, but this doesn't compare. If you had to guess, it was maybe 3 to 4 times as large as Gheldon, and the architecture is much more refined than just living wood. Is much more refined than just living wood. Although obviously it still has its roots in its tree-ish architecture, being made out of living trees, it is not entirely, yeah. And you look at the city and notice that instead of being wood, many of the houses and the structures are made out of beautiful white, purple, green, and brown stone. Beautifully polished glass windows. You know, some of it is even tinted. But however, you notice that the houses still look like the houses in Gheldon, but made out of much more advanced architectural material.
Place is impressive. Like,
Uh,
really impressive. Like, holy shit.
Caleb smiles at you meekly and says, I appreciate that. He motions you to follow him, and you approach the gates. The guard at the front asks for ID, and Caleb provides his guild card.
Oh. Alright, then. I decide to take out mine, then. That'd probably be dead.
Yeah. You take out your guild card, present it to the guard. He looks at it for 5 seconds and then hands it back to you and says, welcome to Haeldradia. You both step inside the city, and it really is a very wondrous sight to see.
Do I need to pay you? I mean, obviously I probably need to pay you, but how much?
He says, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's my job after all." You don't. He says, "You don't really have to pay me. The guild already has that covered."
Oh, alright then. So I assume that you'll be heading back then?
He said, "Yep, I'll be heading back. If you need a guide, you can head to the guide. Yeah, a guide back. You don't need a guide back." He explains that the Haeldrados forest that surrounds Haeldradia is only illusionary to those entering the city, not those leaving it. So you should have an easy enough time just using a map to find your way back. He explains he also explains that because he also says, and also because you can just fly above the tree line and fly towards the city. See, Haeldradia is protected by a barrier that makes it impossible to see from above, which is why we had to go through the forest.
Alright then. I guess I'll hopefully be seeing you around then.
Caleb smiles meekly again and says, "Yeah, we'll see." And with that, he leaves the city and jumps off back to the tree, quickly disappearing into the ever-changing foliage.
Alright then. I decide to try to look for the library then.
You begin to enter the city, not really knowing where to go, still kind of appreciating and taking in the grandeur of the city. It's very pretty, very, very beautifully in touch with nature. You walk along the streets and see You walk along the streets and see kids playing. Most of them are wood elves, but you do know that there are some members of other races, members of other elven races and other humans, and even a few monster-like races wandering across the streets. People doing business, trade, walking in and out. You notice some adventurers clad in armor, guards protecting the city. It's a very calming, nice presence to be in. You walk along the middle of the street, not really quite sure where to go, and you can either continue to wander around or attempt to ask for directions or do something else.
I try to ask for directions. Okay.
You go up to like the nearest guard, or I guess professional, and he asks, "What do you need?"
I'm looking for the library. It's the capital library, I think.
Oh, the library. Sure. He points down the street ahead of you and says, "Keep going down the first 3 intersections, and eventually you will find you'll go down the first 3 intersections. On the 4th intersection, take a left and keep walking that way, and eventually you'll notice a very, very, very massive tree, and they'll have a very, very massive tree. They'll have an entrance into it. Just step inside. That's the Capitol building. Go to the receptionist, ask if you can do the library, and she will likely let you in. Do know that the library closes at night, so do whatever you need to do it before then."
Alright then, thank you. I'd head over there then.
Following his advice, you begin to walk down the intersection. As you walk down the intersection, as you walk down the 2nd intersection, you inevitably gets a bit crowded, and a little wood elf girl happens to bump into you and falls over.
Oh, sorry about that, little girl. Are you okay?
She looks up at you, and her eyes kind of glow, and she says, "Wow, you have such big wings."
Oh, thank you.
She says, "Are you an angel?"
Yeah. Kind of.
She kind of stares at you.
Kind of an angel?
She stares at you. She kind of stares at you a bit, confused on what you mean by kind of.
Well, I'm a fallen angel, so.
She looks interested, saying, "Oh, really? Mommy told me stories about fallen angels and the demon race. Is it true that you guys once served gods?"
Probably. I don't remember much from the demon world, to be honest.
Yeah. She says, "Wow. So if you once served a god, does that mean you've met Daedalus before?"
Daedalus? Who's that?
She kind of stares at you a bit confused, and she says, "You don't know who Daedalus is? He's the creator of all humans and humanoids, including us elves. He's the human god, and the protector of all of us."
I see.
She kind of says, "Well, either way, mister, it was nice to meet you. Your wings are very pretty." And with that, she kind of runs off, and you see her returning to a group of friends to play games.
I keep that in my mind, thinking that was probably the god that sent me over here.
We'll see. I will. You know what? I'll tell you all this now. The god that sent you here is one of the gods in the god folder. It is one of them.
Oh, it is one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
I assume it's Daedalus. Thinking,
You can assume.
It kind of sounds.
You can assume whatever you want.
Probably.
I won't confirm nor deny if it is Daedalus or if it's someone else.
Oh my god. Okay.
Regardless, yeah, you keep the thought in your mind, kind of pondering this Daedalus god, but continue walking. You will continue unimpeded until the 4th intersection and turn left. Continue walking. You walk down the street, but you start hearing some commotion to the street. As you walk down the left, approach an intersection, you notice a commotion happening on the right. Either continue heading forward to the capital or see what's going on.
I'm gonna see what's going on because my ADHD brain goes burr. I get off task really easily.
Fair enough. You turn and walk towards the you turn and walk towards the commotion. There seems to be a large group of people surrounding something, and you enter. You kind of like shove your way through the crowd to get to the front of the circle. And once you get there, there appears to be a wood elf and what appears to be a another elf. But this elf has looks like, unlike the wood elves, which have a rougher, darker, almost Latino-esque skin color, this elf has a much brighter, almost paler, whiter skin, with almost with white and gold clothing, and brighter hair.
It didn't tell me until now.
Didn't tell you what? I said their skin color looks Latino.
Damn it. Okay. Keep
going. They seem to be in a conflict, and the wood elf is kind of wielding a sword, and the sun elf has a staff. The other elf has a staff, and they're both kind of ragged. Clearly, they've been fighting for a bit.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna play this out. I'm see what's going on here.
You decide to just observe the fight, and the wood elf charges at the sun elf. Yeah, the wood elf charges at the sun elf with his swords, and the sun elf seems to cast some sort of magic and shoots out beams of light. But the wood elf manages to dodge and attempts to slash at the sun elf, who manages to mostly block it, but still gets tagged by the blade. You watch for a bit as the elves continue to fight. You're not really sure what started it, but whatever it is, you're kind of intrigued as to what's happening. No one seems to want to be stepping in for some reason. Regardless, they continue to fight. You can choose to step in, continue watching, or leave.
I'm step in and use I think Gust to infuse it with base. To calm them down a bit.
Not realizing this fight seems to be almost ramping up in intensity, you decide to intervene a bit and cast a gust, blowing it towards both elves, and combining it with your advanced skill, with your skill Daze, in an attempt to get both of them to, calm the fuck down. The Daze seems to work as both of them seem to kind of lose their balance, both dropping their weapons. With the fighting seemingly calming down, and both of them, seemingly deciding to finally calm down. As the fight comes to an end, they decide to. The fight comes to an end. The crowd around the fighting party starts to diminish, and now the two elves are just kind of sitting there confused, and you're the only one really left watching.
So, what was going on between you two? Like, guys look like you want to kill each other.
You walk up to the group, and you walk up to the two and ask them what exactly happened, and the sun elf basically kind of looks at you, still kind of aggravated, and says to you, "This green fuck was trying to undermine my business, and I was just teaching him a lesson." Before you can speak, the wood elf looks at him and says, "Yeah, well, you social pansy were trying to rob me, so I was just trying to teach you a lesson."
Wow. I don't think that was each other.
The Sun Elf looks at you and
Literally,
says, "What?" The Sun Elf looks at you and says, What would you know, migrant?" He says, "You're just." The Sun Elf looks at you and says, "You're clearly a traveler. Like you'd understand anything about our society. You should probably just get out of here before you cause more trouble."
I might not know much about your society, but I don't want to see people die. It's not in front of me.
The Wood Elf kind of looks at you and says, "Well, aren't you the idealist? Hate to break it to you, kid, but in this world, people die all the time."
Yeah, but if you're gonna die, it might as well not be in front of me. That's how I did if one could watch. See ya.
You walk away from the, you just kind of walk away from the group and they're both kind of just glaring at you. And continue on your way.
Alright, I decided just to keep going. I'm just gonna keep going.
You continue walking down the street and eventually notice the very large tree that is the Capitol building.
Alright. I decided to enter then.
Yeah.
Go do some work.
By the way, Dread, I want to confirm, do they in fact in Texas just call Texan Roadhouse just Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny because like my mom was like, "Gonna go to Texas Roadhouse," and I was kind of curious, like, do they just call it Roadhouse in Texas? And well,
I mean, yeah, basically, it's just like, hey, you want to head down to the Roadhouse? And it's like, sure.
Texas moment.
Also, Jamal's a bit surprised that in the time that I was gone and just like listening in, I color coded and underlined and bolded.
Man, color coded it.
Wait, he did what?
He color coded his memories.
Why are you in his memories?
He told me to check it out.
Oh,
I wanted to
bro,
I wanted to flex.
Bro, color coded. Holy shit. Bro, color coded his memories. God damn. Well, this is unnecessary. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, you just didn't have to do that. That's just, why would you do that? What?
Oh my
what
god,
reason?
you look at his fucking memories, bro.
Hold on, I'm going to it. Hold on, I'm looking at it.
Pull out Athenos memories, bro. Holy shit, this was so unnecessary. Oh my god.
I also added a summary at the side.
Okay, well, summary's fair. Bro, open his memories, bro. This is crazy, bro. Dog, this was unnecessary. And the thing is, now Jamal's gonna do this too now because he can't stand being outshone like this.
I don't know if I have the ability though. That's the question.
Bro,
what do you mean? It's so easy. I did this entirely while Elpis was doing his second session. This is all now.
English is my kryptonite.
No, I think putting work in is your kryptonite. Elpis, you gotta look at Athenos memories, bro.
Okay.
This shit is crazy, bro. Oh my god.
Also, I'm gonna go with the color scheme for the like lesser basic.
You're insane. This is the thing. You need it.
Bro, you don't need this.
Yes, I do.
You seriously do not need this.
Yes, I do. I want it to be easy when I search through it.
The fact that you're going through this by
more
memory
work into writing his memories than cooking dinner. Holy shit. Holy shit. God damn.
I'm scared to see such a person character because I'm just gonna be a bunch of.
This is the reason why. May I just say, this is a reason why Dread's episode was at 3.5 hours. Meanwhile, no one even breached 3 hours. It's because the extra 45 minutes was spent on him writing his shit down.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no.
Anyway,
what is wrong with
Jesus Christ? Let's get back to lore.
You're a madman.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Okay. You enter the building and notice that it's actually very fashionable inside. The walls and ceiling are very polished wood. The floor is made out of wooden floorboards that are very nicely well done. There's windows all along the walls except for two rooms to the left and the right. And there is a circle desk in the center that goes around 360 degrees, and a receptionist sitting at the front going through papers.
Hello. I would like to have books about this world.
She looks at you and says, you want to go to the library?
Mm-hmm.
She says, sure.
Yeah.
Can I see a form of identification?
Oh yeah, sure. I pull out my guild card.
You pull out your
adventurous card.
Yeah. You pull out the guild card to show the woman, and she looks at it for a bit before saying, "All right, this checks out. Go ahead and step into the elevator on the left, and the library is on the 3rd floor."
All right. Thank you very much.
You enter the elevator on the left and press the 3rd floor, and it closes, and you hear like vines moving outside the elevator, and it starts to move up. It's more rumbly than the elevator you're used to in your world, probably because that uses mechanical technology, whilst this probably uses trees and such and such. Eventually, though, you reach the 3rd floor, the elevator stops with a bit of a thud, and the door opens. And what reveals to you is actually a very large library. Like, really large. The ceiling is very tall. There's something very tall. Like, the books stretch all the way up to maybe 20 to 25 feet into the sky. And there are countless benches to sit on, lots of gangways and galleys and walkways, and with elves walking up and down. A bit overwhelming, but you notice that in the center of the library is another receptionist desk with 4 librarians there. Meanwhile, Jamal's memories.
Shh, my memories are...
See, Burb's memories are more respectable than Jamal's, because Burb's memories are intentionally funny, goofy, and silly, but, like, Jamal's is the perfect cross between, like, not try-hard dread, but not goofy, funny like Burb. So...
Okay, I don't need to get bullied. I can't type and think at the same time.
My memories are just bullet points. I'm just trying to keep it a bit simple so I can remember it all.
Yeah, which is how...
Dread's mid-combat. Sorry, go on.
Dread's, like, about to get hit, and, like, and is like, wait, hold on, let me write this down.
He's about to get hit, and he pulled out the highlighter.
I get whacked in the face, and hold on, let me pull out the typewriter.
Okay, Elpis, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, yeah. You notice the receptionist at the front of the library.
Oh, yes, library. Alright. Hello. Do you have any books on the continents of this world and the gods of this world?
She asks, sure, but can you be a bit more specific? Any continent or god you'd like to look into?
Not particular, just mostly just any type of information on any of the gods of this world.
Well, the section on information about the gods is, she points to her right, your left, points to, you notice that there are 3 floors in this library, quote-unquote floors. She points to the 2nd floor and says, you see that shelf with, she says each section of shelves are identified with a topic hanging from the sign, and you look and kind of notice the signs. She says, if you go to that 2nd floor, and she kind of moves her hand to the right to point to the back left corner of the room. She says, that section there with the sign, that is all our information on gods.
Ah, thank you. And about the landscape?
She said, we don't really have many books on Althvinhaim, Castria, or the Demon Realm. If you want books on a more global scale, I'm afraid you'll have to either go to Asylvius or Salkyrith. But we have a lot of books on Elvania, but most of our books are about the Haeldrados Forest and the surrounding areas of the Elf Sea, the Oasis, and in the Oasis, we won't have that much information on regions that we don't really get involved with. For example, the underground mines of the Drow Elves or the Evernights. We have some books on the Great Fairy Forest, a good amount of books on the Kinshin Desert because we do a lot of work there. But if books regarding continental overview, we have, I suppose, on like a very rough scale. But if you want in-depth information on anywhere other than the Haeldrados Forest, you'll have to go to either Salavictus or Salkirith.
Alright then, thank you. I decided to just look up the books on the gods then, might as well.
You will follow her instruction and climb up the stairs to the second floor, walk across the gallery, and find the section. You see the sign, it's labeled Gods. The section's pretty big, with a lot of books on the shelves, and they're labeled. They're labeled. Do you want to pick out some of the do you want to skim through some of the labels?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing you notice are three are Huh? I think he just died. Yeah, Piss Boy just died.
Well, in the meantime, while he dies, I can now finish color coding my document.
Yeah. May I say that I was actually I was gonna do something where like, you know that fight that happened? I actually was making it. The Sun Elf was a newer immigrant and part of the Nova Sociedade, and the Wood Elf was one of the older part of the Green Tree Party. And if Elpis had gotten involved with that, I likely would have pulled him into a political battle that's happening in Haeldradia. But unfortunately,
Nice.
he decided to just leave.
Yeah,
I realized I should probably be incorporating more of the politics, because that's kind of like a lot of what's bringing many of these nations down. And I figured, why not make like a Sun Elf?
absolutely.
Why not make a Sun Elf migrant that's like trying to run a business, but he's kind of getting sabotaged by members of the Evore Verde party.
Very well.
Hopefully we can pick this up afterwards, but I gotta go. Something happened.
Alright. Unfortunate.
That's really a shame.
I'll probably just fuse the two recordings together, but I guess we'll end it here. Okay. You walk into the library of Solwallonia in the capital city of Haeldradia. After entering and talking to the receptionist, you asked for a book on gods, and she directs you to the upper left corner of the second floor, and tells you that all the books on gods will be there.
I look around a bit, see if I could find any book of the previous god that was mentioned to me, over the girl.
You go upstairs and, yeah. You go upstairs and begin to scan the books. And you notice the three largest books that are currently present are stand out much more. You take a quick glance on their spine to see the title, and they read The Mythical Goddess Seraphiel, The Human God Daedalus, and The Monster God Cassiel.
I find each of these three books interesting, so I decide to take them all for me to read.
You pull all three off the shelf and go to an area of the library that has tables, sitting down and and deciding which book you want to open.
Right about Daedalus.
Okay. Remembering the words the girl mentioned earlier, you decide to open the book on Daedalus, the human god. It opens up with an introduction page saying, creator of man and elf, designer of the humanoids, and also known as the god of prosperity. Daedalus is one of the 3 original gods. Created right after the death of Omniel, Daedalus is known as the human god for his role in overseeing the creation of the humanoid races. Responsible for the creation of the elves during the mythical age and the humans during the human age, the 2 largest races on the planet both have him to thank for their existence. Daedalus is one of the most powerful gods alongside Seraphiel and Cassiel, capable of wielding every type of magic, albeit not as well as Seraphiel. Daedalus' main strength is actually his weapons. Daedalus has a massive array of godlike weapons that he wields that are unmatched. When wielding them, he is easily able to contend with his fellow gods and can usually overpower most of them. Daedalus takes on the form of a quote-unquote, open quote, perfect human being, end quote. Everyone who sees him says that there isn't a single flaw in his anatomy. His body is entirely made of light, turning him pure white and glowing. He wears no clothes, but he also lacks reproductive organs. His eyes glow even brighter than his body, allowing for people to make them out. He has no mouth and talks through telepathy. People describe his voice as kind, but having a lot of authority.
God, I'm terrible at spoiling what I'm fast typing. Okay.
After collecting your thoughts, you flip to the next few pages to read about the history of Daedalus. And you flip through the pages and begin reading through the book. It says that Daedalus, alongside his partner gods, Seraphiel and Cassiel, were the first 3 gods created after the death of the primal god Omniel. Daedalus is responsible for the creation of all humanoids, humans, elves, and lizard folk, etc. He said, during the Second Age, the mythical age, Daedalus had finally perfected his first creation, the elves. He had released the elves onto the world on the continent of Althvinhaim. However, Althvinhaim at the time was essentially a battleground for Leviathans. Because of this, the elves were unable to contend with the constant tragedies and attacks they faced from the Leviathans. Because of this, Daedalus, alongside his servants, would help guide the High Elf King, Elven Celeste, to a new and better continent. Through his guidance, the High Elf King was able to reach the continent of Elvania and establish prosperous kingdoms across it forevermore. After what he considers the failure of the elves, Daedalus took a back seat on creating more humans. He felt that he was irresponsible and didn't make a good creator, seeing how his elves had suffered so at the hands of the Leviathans. Taking a back seat, he wouldn't introduce any more creatures into this world until a few ages later, until an age later known as the Human Age. An age later in the Human Age. The Human Age, during the Human Age, Daedalus would finally feel satisfied and creating the humans. However, in order to not repeat the history of the elves, he worked alongside the goddess of Earth to expel Leviathans from Althvinhaim. With the Leviathans gone and the land cultivated, Daedalus introduced the first humans into the world. They would quickly spread across the fertile lands of Althvinhaim and establish early civilizations. All the while, Daedalus would be looking over his subjects with mass interest. During the Human Age as well, Daedalus would also experiment with other humanoid races. The continent of Kestriel in particular would raise an interest to him. It had yet to be inhabited by much of anything, and he figured it would be a great place for his other humanoids. In the mountains, he created the dwarfs. In the plains, the halflings and grunts and giants. In the forests and swamps, the lizard folk. And in the waters, the merfolk. And in the cities, the beast folk. And Daedalus made them all in his image, in the image of humanity, that he believed to be the most ideal form. However, some of his creations tended to more resemble dragons, in particular. In Kestriel, the humanoids wouldn't develop nearly as quickly as the humans in Althvinhaim. This is likely because Daedalus made the humanoids much more feral and mobile. They weren't made to settle down in large groups and work together. In fact, many disputes happened even within local tribes. This is the main contribution Daedalus brought to the world of Althvinhaim. He created humans and humanoids, established the powerful race of the elves, as well as the prosperous and ever-expanding humans, and the unique cultures of the humanoids. Beyond the human age, Daedalus would take a back seat, letting the third god, letting the third of the trio, Cassiel, and the monster god, take over 2 ages later in the Monster Age. Regardless, Daedalus's influence can still be seen during the Development Age as humanity began to quickly prosper and change. Today, Daedalus is considered the protector and one and only god of humanity. Regardless of religious faith or lack thereof, every human and humanoid agrees in the reverence and prosperity of Daedalus. From every elf, from the moon elves to the high elves, every human from north to south, and every humanoid from the merfolk to the dwarves to the halflings, all you can unanimously agree on one thing, and that is that Daedalus is the most powerful and most amazing god of the pantheon, and that they will revere him forevermore. Getting a bit lost in the book, you didn't realize that it was actually quite long, and you spent a while reading it. Looking outside the window, you realize that it's close to evening, and you've spent about 3 hours reading the book. You want to continue reading, however, the librarian quickly lets you know that the library will be closing soon.
Oh, okay. Is it fine if I come back in the morning?
The librarian says, of course. The library opens in the morning, she says.
Alright then. See you tomorrow then.
Hey, Britt. You wave goodbye to the librarian and put the books back. And yeah, you put the books back and stepped outside into the city. You were so caught up in doing research. Yeah. Exiting the library, you now realize that you were maybe a bit too engrossed in your book, and realize that you don't actually have a place to stay.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I could find an inn.
Walking around, leaving the library and the Capitol building, you walk through the streets with still a lot of people in the streets, but not as many as obviously earlier in the day. You can either ask one for a location of an inn, or just kind of go in alone and try to find one yourself, like a certain other fallen angel in Salkyra thought he could do.
Yeah.
I hate you all.
Alright, I'm gonna ask for directions.
For a brief period, a weird memory appears in your head that of a similar fallen angel, thinking that he can just go in alone in a massive city and not ask for any help from the locals because of his social anxiety peeking through, and attempts to find everything himself. But the memory quickly dissipates from your head, and you suddenly forget all of it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyways, approaching the elf, you approaching one of the wood elf. You ask him for directions for an inn, and he says that the nearest inn would be down 2 blocks and to the left, and there will be a big sign that says wooden beer, and that is an inn/gastropub.
Oh, okay then. Thank you so much. I'm gonna head over there then.
You thank the elf for his help with another memory into your head of another fallen angel asking a man for information and then not confirming said information and having leaving and then coming back and then asking the same man again for directions because he didn't ask him the first time, making himself look like a fucking dumbass and a lost tourist. But that memory quickly fades from your.
I don't think this angel is part of the main character, maybe, because like he just comes up in so many sessions.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that memory quickly fades from your head, and you suddenly forget all about it. Weird, crazy. Anyways, you continue. Yeah, following his directions, you quickly arrive at the inn, and are now standing in front of its doors.
But I decide to open the door. I can definitely do that.
Yeah. You enter the inn, and it's very much bustling. There's lots of elves and other races chatting about eating food, drinking beer. You notice the the innkeeper at the front. He's a tall, well-built wood elf that appears to be handling some orders.
Oh, I hope I'm not bothering you, but is there any rooms open for the night?
The man looks at you and he says, "How many nights you plan on staying?"
Maybe 3 or 4 nights.
3 or 4 nights?
Well, yeah.
Well, 3 nights would be 6 silver. If you want to do 4 nights, I'll just make it 7 silver and 10 copper.
How much does that in the gold coin again?
The conversion rate is 20. 20 copper for a silver, 20 silver for a gold, 20 gold for a platinum.
Alright. I pull out like 1 gold coin and said, "Would this be enough?"
He says, "Yeah, so will that be 3 nights or 4 nights?"
4 nights.
He takes the gold coin. Yeah.
I'm very decisive.
He takes the gold coin and hands you back 12 silver coins and 10 copper.
Thank you. I decide to head up for the night then.
You thank the innkeeper, and he gives you the directions to your room. And you can I'll go directly to your room and head to sleep early, or maybe try to converse with someone in the inn, or the innkeeper himself.
Not a big personal social interaction, but better than a certain fallen angel.
Speak louder, I can't hear you.
I'm not good with social conversation, but it's better than a certain fallen angel. It's better than a certain fallen angel, somewhere in Albania.
Real.
I despise you all, and again...
Oh yeah, Dred, did you watch Jamal's second episode?
I mean, I can do that just real quick.
Yeah, no, but what happened is he thought he could just explore Sol Imperia by himself without any directions and immediately got fucking lost.
Jamal, what's the train of thought? Like, what runs in your mind?
I then asked for
I
one
said
of the
I would look
locals.
for an inn, and then, I feel like it was biased.
Ah, yes. Let me
Dred, do you ever just like go
randomly.
into Paris and then like just know where an inn is? You know?
Connor, I instinctually know the location and like the geographical layout of every single city in France. I'll have you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Just like I know. Oh hey, I know that there's a shop around the right, like to the like if we keep going further down and then to the left. Sure enough, there it is. You know, like it's just that easy.
Yeah, also Jamal asked a local for like about the library in Sol Imperia, got told some information about it, and then walked off without asking for directions. And then
Oh
had
my
to
god.
go back to the elf and ask for directions.
Okay, but to be fair, that was just like me with the dark mage elf,
True.
like the moon elf,
However, Jamal
Alexi.
also didn't bother to ask the Mages Guild how to learn magic, so it ended up taking him an extra like 15 minutes to 2 hours to learn basic and greater spells because his dumbass didn't bother to ask how to actually
Couldn't be
use
me.
magic.
Honestly, could not be me.
That's a bro moment, truly.
No, literally.
Wait, so actually, dumb question, but do we need to actually see the spell to learn the spell, or we actually just read the description of the spell and how to?
You just need to know how to envision it, but when you have no idea how magic works in this world, you're kind of fucked.
Oh, hold on. That's, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna save my
Jamal
thoughts
just
to myself.
assumed he'd know how magic worked.
You know, it's just like he instinctually assumed, you know, I should be able to use my wings, right? Just right off the bat,
Yeah.
right off the gate.
Yeah.
I try to sprint walk before I can crawl,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Everyone knows how when babies are born, they just know how to walk.
And they've trained babies for the toddler Olympics.
I
Literally.
wish you could put a taller Olympics. Where is that?
Jamal trying to change the subject.
Don't worry, Jamal. It's also where you put your competence.
Oh.
You'll be able to find it easily. Maybe.
I decided to converse with the other people in the bar. But
You decide to walk around the bar a bit before the sun completely sets. You notice there are 6 tables in the bar. 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Which one do you approach?
the one on the left,
Which one on the right?
the one on the right.
There are 3 tables on the right. Which one on the right?
Table number 2.
Okay. You approach the middle table and see a party of tipsy elves, 2 of which seem to be, 2 seem to be moon elves. Sorry, not moon elves. 2 seem to be wood elves. There seems to be a larger elf with darker skin and darker hair. You can't really place a thumb on it. And lastly, there is a sun elf.
Hello, people. Hello there.
Hello, people of this world.
Hello, people of this earth. Actually, all hello people around you.
They
You
all
know what?
look at you as you say hello and ask if you needed anything.
Just trying to converse with new people. I just got into town, so now.
The wood elf on your left kind of laughs a bit, clearly a bit drunk, and tells you that you can sit down with them and chat if you want, and they'll get you something to drink.
Alright. That's great. Thank you very much.
You sit down, and the wood elf calls the bartender over and orders, and asks you what you'd like to order.
Do you have any wine?
The bartender says they do.
Alright, I'll take some wine then.
He returns to the bar and begins pouring a wine. Meanwhile, the drow elf looks at you and asks what brings you to Haeldradia.
Well, I came here mainly for the library. I want to learn more about the world I'm in right now.
The drow elf looks up at you and kind of curious and says, "What exactly do you mean by the world?"
I kind of new to this place. Well, it's an overworld place.
The sun elf kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, did you recently transfer here from the demon realm?"
Yeah, I don't remember much, but I just kind of just flopped here. Look around the side of the mountain.
The wood elf on the right looks at you and asks for your name.
Oh, Elpis. Very nice to meet you.
The other elves introduce themselves, although after getting your wine, you admit, the elves introduce themselves as you get your wine. The drow elf introduced himself as Elmon. The two wood elves, the one on the left says his name is Akar, and the one on the right says his name is Ren. And then the sun elf, the female sun elf, introduces herself as Ameria.
Oh, nice to meet you all.
Spaces in between your commas.
I still can't believe you're grammarly correcting his memory.
Listen, if you saw him typing and not putting spaces in between commas, you do the same thing.
Elpis, I will get off on, where's some food? I need to have an angry Joe rant just ready in case Elpis fucks up again.
Yeah, he doesn't put spaces between his commas sometimes.
It's infuriating. Actually disgusting.
Well, it's because I'm fast typing and I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about just remembering everything down and going over it later.
No, okay, Elpis, this is your fast typing.
You don't hear it because it might be,
Average Elpis typing speed.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, you guys cannot hear that.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, Elpis, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my headphones suppress most of the noise.
That seems about
but
right.
You can't.
Anyways, Ameria looks at you and asks what information you were looking for at the library.
Well, mostly about the world I'm in, of course, and about the god.
She looks at you intrigued and asks what you want to know about the gods.
I just kind of needed a reminder. I don't remember much, so I might as well learn about more of the world and the culture while I can.
The sun elf kind of sits up, puffing out her chest a bit and saying, "Well, if you would like to know about the great god of light, Mendius, I'd be happy to tell you about him."
Mendius. Yeah, fair one.
She looks at you, still a bit tipsy admittedly, and tells you that Mendius is the great and powerful god of light, and he is a direct servant of Daedalus, and was responsible in helping him create the Sun Elves. She also tells you that Mendius is the god of worship for the largest faith in the world, the Sun Faith, which is centered around the kingdom of the Sun Elves, Salkyrith, in the southern part of Ilvania. She says that Mendius has been watching over the Sun Elves as well as Sun Elves for millennia, and acts as their patron and their protector. She says that Mendius's light allows them to live happy and fulfilled lives, able to protect themselves but also live in peace and prosperity. She says that without the benevolence of Mendius and Daedalus, they, like the elves, would, especially the Sun Elves, likely would have perished on Althvinhaim. She goes on for a few more minutes, kind of preaching the amazingness of Mendius, and you're not You're not sure if she's normally like this or if it's just the alcohol. Regardless, she goes on for a few minutes before Ren kind of like gets her to calm the fuck down.
Interesting. Thank you for that information. Don't mind my bot spelling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You're actually close with this one. Mm-hmm. After she calms down, she calms down, a car looks at you and says, yeah, well, anyways, yeah, that's... Sorry about her. She can be a bit, fanatical when it comes to, Mendias, even more so when she's drunk.
Oh, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. She kind of looks at you and then says, would you like to join the Sun Faith?
Well, not as of now, no.
She kind of frowns at you a bit and says, oh well, I'm sure you'll come around eventually. I'm sure, and you'll see soon that Mendias' light is the only light you'll ever need to bathe in again. As she, like, chugs down even more beer.
Hey, quick question. Do you know what that reminds me of? When, in Konosuba, when they went to the Axis Church.
Oh, real. Whoops, my bad.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Seeing her getting more and more drunk, the other elves kind of just look at her, just like a bit exasperated by it, but they seem to be used to her getting drunk. Elmon then looks at you and says, well, he looks at you and says, well, he says, well, I personally don't know much about the gods, but I am aware that there are many, many gods. He asks, is there any...
Many...
No, you continue.
How many gods are there? How many gods are there?
Elmon kind of thinks to himself and says, I'm not sure of the exact number of myself, but I know, I'm pretty sure it's well over 30.
30? There's 30 individual gods in this world.
He says, probably more.
Oh. Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to find the god that sent us over here?
Yeah. Elmon kind of thinks to himself a bit before saying, the only gods I really know of are obviously the first three, Seraphiel, Daedalus, and Cassiel, and of course Mendias, the god of light, because he's part of the biggest faith. There's also Zolidol, the god of dark and leader of the moon faith. There's Tia, the leader of the Vitiatist faith. And then there's what was her name again? The leader of the Paxilist faith. Oh, right, Fiona, the goddess of peace. There are many religions in this world. There's also the goddess of water, Lifa, worshipped by the Ocantalists, and as well as Null, the god of death, worshipped by the Morsadists. I also am aware that there is a sort of hierarchy with the gods, with the first three being the most powerful, and the next most powerful god serving them, and then with many of the gods that came after the original three tend to serve one of the three, with a few exceptions of really powerful gods like Tia and Null. But I believe for the most part, most of the gods serve one of the three, which only further adds to their power.
What classifies someone as a god?
Akar decides to answer, explaining that there are 3 dimensions: the overworld, the demon realm, and the heavens. He explains that the heavens are occupied by two beings, the gods and the angels. He explains that the demons live in the demon realm, most every other race lives in the overworld, and the gods and angels live in the heavens. He explains what makes a god is how they're born. Akar explains that in the early ages of Althvinhaim's existence, before the Fae or demons ever even existed, countless gods appeared into existence. No one knows how they came into existence, they just did. Akar kind of notes that, Akar kind of says that, after the origin age, no new gods really came into existence, which is kind of how they just classify gods, saying that gods were incredibly powerful beings born before any of the mortal races came into existence. But Akar also explains that that definition can also get a bit flimsy, because some the most powerful supreme entities, namely the Demon Emperor, the Fae Monarch, and the Sea Goliath, are in fact powerful enough to take on the gods, with estimates assuming that the Demon Emperor, the current one at least, would likely be able to take on most of the Pantheon alone and come out victorious. Because of this, some people have been questioning what a god is. Most people just kind of make the differentiation that gods are incredibly powerful beings that exist in heaven, separate from the angels, that were created before the origin age. And the supreme entities are godlike beings who have achieved the more power equal to the gods.
The main question, but has a mortal ever became a god?
Akar just kind of shakes his head at you.
Really? But it feels, since you said there was so many of them, at least one of them would have been mortal.
Akar says that although the idea has been considered by scholars, some people even wondering that, technically speaking, can you consider the Fae Monarch and the Demon Emperor gods? However, what most scholars and researchers the conclusion they come to is that because the Demon Emperor and the Fae Monarch are ultimately beings created by the gods, they cannot be gods. It's kind of become an unspoken principle in research and scholarly understanding that is what divides the gods from the mortals. And the reason a mortal cannot become a god is because they were created by the gods, and conversely, the gods were created by something else. Which is why, at best, we describe people like the Demon Emperor as godlike. Because he is revered as a god, viewed by many as almost a god, has powers that easily rival and trump many of the gods, but at the end of the day, he's still not a god.
Hey, yeah, interesting.
And the Demon Emperor himself, or any of the Demon Emperors in the past, or the Fae Monarchs in the past, have never claimed to be gods either. So the discussion has always kind of just been pointless. Because if everyone agrees that mortals can't become gods, and if the most powerful mortals don't even claim to be gods, what's the point of having a conversation about it?
That's fair. Just I find it really interesting.
Akar looks at you and kind of says, "Yeah, that's fair. Everyone has always wondered what would happen if the Demon Emperor, the Fae Monarch, or the Sea Goliath attempted to become become a god. What would happen? Would it be possible? No one knows, because no one's ever tried, I suppose."
I wonder how badly would this upset the principles of this world.
The car kind of stares up into the ceiling like, yeah, we can always wonder, I suppose.
Anyways, what can you tell me about this town?
Ren speaks up and says, if you want to know about Haeldradia, well, that's easy. Ren looks at you and says, Haeldradia is, I'm sure you know, the capital of Sawalonia, founded by our great king, original king, Haeldrados. Ren explains that Haeldradia is the capital, as the capital of Sawalonia. It not only obviously it acts as the governmental center of the city, but also serves as a cultural hub for the Wood Elves. He explains that Haeldrados is of the largest city and has the largest population. He also notes that Haeldradia was the first city, that was one of the first cities to, basically, he explains that Haeldradia is the only city in Sawalonia that's made out of stone instead of living wood. However, due to the natural culture of the Wood Elves, he's sure you noticed that the color and design of the housing is very tree-like and nature-like, although it's made out of non-living materials. Ren explains that the reason why Haeldradia and the rest of Sawalonia is so rich and prosperous is because of Sawalonia's position as the main trade kingdom. That all goods that come from either from Kestriel or Dalhaven pass through their ports. It's because of this that Haeldrados has the money to afford ever expanding and is able to keep up with its population growth. He also explains that in terms of Wood Elf culture, Haeldradia is definitely the most rich. And if you wanted to learn more about their culture and their people, this would definitely be the place to do it. Other than that, Ren explains that the best way to really get to know and appreciate the city is to, go explore it.
Yeah. Alright. Probably be doing that at some point. Now I'd just rather hang out in the library and try to learn as much as I can.
Ren smiles at you and says, "Oh, I'm glad to know that you find the city so interesting and want to learn more about it."
Oh. Another question. Is thievery usually a common practice here too?
Ren kind of looks confused at the question, like asking, "What exactly do you mean?"
Well, there was apparently two major fighting around this town. And I think it was major, but I kind of stopped them, and apparently one person stole another thing from someone else that looks to be kind of tattered.
Ren kind of ponders for a bit, saying, "Well, obviously, it's not like crime doesn't exist here. Crime exists everywhere. And so, it's not unusual to hear a story of it. May I ask, who were the two people arguing?"
I believe it was a shopkeeper and someone, I think, who used illusion magic, I think so, because he turned invisible for a bit. If my memory serves me right.
He looks at you again and kind of asks, "You know what their races were?"
I think one was definitely an elf. I can't remember the other one.
Do you remember what kind?
Might have been
Ren kind of questions for a bit and asks, "Do you remember what they said?"
What about what they said? Nope.
Ren kind of then stares at, well, I'm not really sure what it could have been about, although, like, obviously, crime happens.
Oh, I think it was actually something about this country.
Ren kind of looks at you and says, I think I have an idea. Do you remember if any of them were not a wood elf?
I think the second person was definitely not a wood elf.
Okay, and what was one of them a wood elf?
I think one of them might have been, and might have not been. Sorry if I'm being really indecisive right now. My memory is just not very good.
Ren brushes it off and asks, and you said one of them was a shopkeeper, right?
Yep.
Anything else you remember them saying? Because I think I have an idea of what you might have experienced.
No, but I would like to hear your idea.
Ren looks at you and says, well, if my assumptions are right... This happened in this city, by the way, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ren looks and says, well, although I think, especially compared to the human nations and other humanoid nations, the nations in Elvania have been considerably more stable. However, recent times, over the past few centuries, scientists and other wood elf scholars have begun to notice a change in the ever-prosperity of Salwalonia, a degradation of the environment, the water systems, the air, pollution, littering, and because of this, the people have been requesting that the government do something about the issues, and because of that came the rise of two, I guess you could call them political parties, but not really. I'd argue they're more like sides than anything else. But there's the Arvor Verde party, which is advocating for preservation of culture and wanting to sustain a independent society, and hope that want the government themselves to do something, compared to the Nova Sociedade, who prefer extending out to the rest of Elvania and want to see a higher rise in trade and more open door policies with the rest of Elvania. And so, if one of the people you mentioned was a sun elf having a conflict with a wood elf about trade, that would make sense, because a big part of the Verde Party and the Sociedade are the issue of immigrants, and the issue, especially Sun Elf and Sun Faith immigrants from Salkirith and other cities, where the Verde Party wants to maintain their own identity separate from the Sun Faith, while the Sociedade doesn't see a problem with incorporating Sun Faith traditions and Sun Elf traditions into Salwalonia in an attempt to increase the prosperity. And so recently, many migrants, including many of those who follow the Sun Faith, have been facing attacks and discrimination in the city and in all of Salwalonia in general. It's definitely becoming more and more of a problem, and something that will need to be addressed soon, I fear.
Alright then. Make me see that. Like that could possibly lead to something not very good. If it, I think it's too serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ren kind of chuckles nervously, saying, yeah, especially if, the Sun Elf traveler or migrant were to be killed here, that would cause a big issue. The last thing, in my opinion at least, the last thing Saulonia wants or needs is a conflict with Salkyrith and the High Priest of the Sun. So if something ever were to happen where a Sun Elf migrant, especially one that follows the Sun Faith, were to be killed or seriously harmed by a member of the Green Party, then we could have a big mess on our hands, and the balance between the Elven kingdoms could take a serious hit.
I just have a flashback to when I told them that they could probably go kill themselves somewhere else if they keep fighting, and I'm just like, that was probably not a good idea.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, Ren looks and kind of says, yeah. He says, well, Saulonia is by far the richest kingdom in Novania, next with right beside Salivictus. In terms of military power, we wouldn't stand a chance if Salkyrith attempted to militarily or politically intervene in our country. We have money, but Salkyrith has the Sun Faith and millions of followers. It would not end well for us if the High Priest of the Sun denounced us for, understandably so, for harming one of their followers. Unlike us, we don't really have a god to back us.
You don't?
He says, no.
That's surprising.
He said, Ren kind of looks at you and says, no, most of the gods don't really get involved with mortal affairs. They spend most of their time maintaining the country. I think the god that might help us the most would be the goddess of Earth, Gaia, because she helped Daedalus create us. However, unlike the ancestors of the Sun Elves, who greatly revered Mendias and treated him like their one and true god, the Wood Elves, although obviously grateful for what Gaia did for them, wanted to be independent, and because of that, we have survived much on our own and not with the support of a god. But if the Sun Faith were to essentially attack us because of a death of one of their people and their followers, it's likely that Mendias would back them. Ren just kind of looks worried the entire time he's explaining this. Clearly, obviously stressed about the whole situation.
You don't look okay.
Ren just kind of looks up at you and just kind of chuckles a bit and says, yeah, that's fair. He said, it's really stressful, knowing that one rogue extremist green could end up hurting our country greatly. You never know when one really anti-Sun Faith extremist green will come walking through the streets and having a bad day, see a Sun Elf, and just lose control.
Foreshadowing? No, I'm joking. Keep going. Alright, then. Yeah. I think we gotta clock out for the night, then.
Ren
Nice
wishes you good night, apologizing for dampening the mood with such a serious topic.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really enjoyable.
Ren smiles and saying that he's glad you enjoyed their conversation, and you say goodbye and head off to sleep.
Yeah. Alright, then. Yeah, I just head to sleep then.
The fact that Jamal isn't blowing up the chat after I mentioned politics is crazy.
Bro, I loved listening to it, and I was like, man, people were nervous talking to me about politics. Like, I'm not gonna overthrow the government, but maybe, I just want to talk about it. Maybe this is like a thing, And people were like, why are you so interested in like the Sun Elf politics?
Jamal is like,
It's like, No, I have no revolutionary wants. I just want to know.
Sure.
No,
Sure.
I mean also the the Inquisitors would just come arrest me and throw me in prison.
Understandably so.
And then like, it's like this person's agitating. It's just like, what do you mean he's agitating? He literally said he wanted to overthrow the government. Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Killian's like, this is tyranny. Like, you literally threatened the life of our king. Killian's like,
Did somebody say,
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys?
We're talking about if my character did a revolution in South Cairo, he'd get immediately arrested.
Oh no, absolutely. Like, you would be spending the rest of your new life in jail.
You'd be like Mandela, but like not cool.
Well, Mandela was first like a revolutionary like guerrilla fighter, right? And then like he got arrested. And we were like, we stand with Mandela. This would just be like an instant arrest. They're just like, he posted a blog.
I'm going to overthrow you, signed the government.
No, literally.
Also, no way Elpis just left in the middle of his own lore. That's crazy.
I think his Wi-Fi died.
So how's the revolution been going for Killian? Is the question.
I'm not doing a revolution in South Cairo.
Probably will.
I don't know, man. You strike me as the type of guy who would do that.
I'm very early game, and it is one of the most powerful nations on the planet.
Hey, you know what they say? Bardock had to rise up against Frieza. He died in his revolution, but don't worry about that.
How much?
Like the only worst idea
was
would
Persia compared to Macedon.
Exactly. You got to go in, man.
Okay, they had a really are having a civil war, and they also had a good commander, which I don't have either.
Oh, so you're not a good commander?
Did you just ask that?
I mean, at this part in time, no, I don't think so.
Don't worry, he's the grandfather of like Alexander the Great at this point. There's no contest. Jamal. There's no way. There's no way you just like don't know magic at this point.
He barely does.
Barely? Well, like I'm tapping into 2 elements and he's just probably like here with 1 spell.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
Here's 2 spells.
Oh, 2 spells, that's so much better.
Yeah, he's learned 2 light magic spells.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably in the next session finish up History of Albania, go on to practice spells, and then like set off to another country. I don't know.
You know what's the worst part about this though? You know, considering your skill set, I feel like you should be trying to invest into magic the most.
That's honestly a fair point.
Yeah, especially since the entire point of diligence is if I get like too weak, I'm getting battered, destroyed. I can start using diligence, so I can start like actually fighting back with stronger magic.
You're a mage build. Why aren't you being a mage? Hello?
That's so real.
Guys, I'm a mage build, but I'm actually going to be a warrior.
Yeah. Like, let's read this shit, bro. Like.
Let's read the Killian profile.
As the health of the user decreases, the magical ability to increase compensate. So only activate on low health. What else we got? Disables enemy tech and weakens skills for a temporary time period.
Disables enemy tech. We got the
ability to
technical
avoid
knowledge.
repeated attacks or similar skills and/or magic.
Welcome back, Elpis. We're just like we're talking about our good buddy Jamal and how he has a mage build, but he's not a mage.
Damn, me personally. Also, dinner time. I finished.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Also, Asylvius is going funny with his skills. Basically, he needs a quick way to make money, right?
Yeah.
And unlike Elpis, who earns his money, and then Dredd and Jamal are just gonna stumble upon their money. Yeah. You wonder what Asylvius is doing?
What, is he creating a brothel empire?
No, he learned magic and then bought a map of the area, and then secretly, when no one was looking, stole B and A rank quests to hunt down bandits, hunted down said bandits, stole their money, used manipulator to make them forget what happened, and then just leave them to die.
That's such a bra moment. That's needlessly cruel. Although I'm not one to talk.
I mean, when you think about it, he did earn the money.
Yeah. He also found the. He also like
did
just.
earn-
He also just actively seeks out bad people doing bad things, so he can pretend to save whoever they're attacking, but then just steal their money.
Also, that's something Jamal also should do, because advanced skill let tyrants fall. Man, that's crazy.
Well, no, I mean that's against. Oh, I mean yeah, that's fair.
What do you mean? Okay, yeah, perceived injustice is anybody just opposing you at that point.
You know, not
Like, there's
wrong.
no
Not wrong.
that's too loose. Like, come on, man. You gotta specify. Also, their foot shall slide. Oh no, he gets like a plus 5% speed buff. Oh,
Wait, are all
wow, that's crazy.
is some of your unique skills considered status effects?
Huh?
Is some of your unique skills considered status effects? Because I'm just looking over it, so it's like, wait, these technically be considered status effects?
What, mine?
Yeah, some of yours. At least.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. You know, Marionette, Maestro, and Lust both basically have a permanent control over the user unless someone breaks it. Or until he cancels
I mean, yeah,
it.
isn't Connor's whole kit fucking status effects?
More or less.
Like, there isn't any actual, like, offensive thing, or if there is, it, like, pales in comparison to your actual status effects.
Yeah.
Like, either passive or,
No, he doesn't have any attack skills.
Yeah.
Doesn't really need them, though.
Skill determined, let's go. Increases users' drive.
I mean, it's technically like me, but I do have just one attack unique skill.
I'm not gonna lie, Connor. That new skill that that Asylvius acquired, Jamal could probably use it. Looking at his Genshin gameplay.
Okay.
Oh, real.
All right.
You what? How many hours is a Paradox gamer, Jamal? I can't even call you that actually. You're a Dox gamer. There's no para. It's all halved. 750 hours. That's crazy. Wild.
Literally.
You know something I figured out recently? I don't know why, but like a lot of trans people like Paradox games for some reason. Like,
man, isn't that crazy? Lot. Isn't that wild?
Jamal just outed himself.
Well,
me personally,
actually, a lot of individuals of the queer community quite like Paradox grand strategy games. Let's see here. Also, yeah, Jamal, I love how you just kind of like ripped off some of my skills.
No, he did.
Didn't I write mine before you?
No?
No.
I wrote them before you.
No, you were way too indecisive.
No, like...
Wait, me or Dread?
You.
No, I think Dread wasn't home at the moment, so I just took the opportunity to write... No, remember?
No,
I think
okay, I'm going into Google Docs. He's got dementia. 1 second.
I remember the day.
Wait, hold on. Let me call Knox.
I'm pulling up the OG shit. Also, it's been 9 months since we started this. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
I changed my third skill a lot. I know, but I think.
Yeah, I started on December 7th. You started on December 11th.
Yeah.
What? No, we did it like the same day. What do you mean?
No, you didn't.
No, I'm looking at the Docs history. It doesn't lie. He's trying to bullshit me. I'm being gaslit.
Yeah, no, the moment I posted it, Dread started writing on 12/07. Yeah, that's the day we started. December 7th, 2022. You didn't start writing until after.
Did he finish them by then?
I mean, yeah, I finished before you did.
No, I know why. Jamal fucking did his backstory before he did his skills.
Oh, that explains it. Okay, let me put it this way, right, Connor? All right, look at my skill, Iron Skin, and then look at Jamal's skill, Silver Skies.
More or less.
That's not the only thing. Let's see, Dark Fog. Okay, Reaper. What else?
Yeah, you did your character sheet with everything besides your skills.
Wait, hold on. I just have something to show you, Connor. Right? Okay, so this is Jamal's skill, right? Yeah. Now let me go find this. All right, then here it is. All right. Now this is my skill that I made earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jamal copied
Wait.
too. Nothing.
Look at your DMs,
Oh,
Jamal. The first is yours, the second is mine.
mine's better.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. He just took mines and built on it.
Literally, he made it an advanced scale and was like, no, 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 guys, it's different, it's different.
Guys, it's different, I
It's
promise.
different.
This is the upgraded version. I paid 100 rupees to upgrade this one.
Literally. Anyways, you want to continue now?
Yeah, let's continue.
Okay. After saying goodbye,
Come on, we
I don't
dang
know.
it. Right.
After saying goodbye to Ren and the rest of the elves, you went to your room and quickly fell asleep. Waking up early in the day, you get up out of bed, stretch, and decide what to do for today.
I think first I'm going to explore. Yeah, I'm gonna explore first before going to the library.
Thinking to what Ren said, you decide you're going to spend a bit exploring Haeldradia before you go back to the library. Stepping outside of the inn, before you leave, the innkeeper asks if you want anything to eat before you head out.
Sure. Can I have a to-go? Oh yeah, to-go. Yeah. Why can't I to-go order? I have a to-go order.
The bartender kind of shakes his head at you, saying they don't do that.
Okay, I'll eat the then.
You thank the bartender for the food as he puts it on your table. And it reminds you of the meals you had in Gheldon, but it's slightly different. You eat up, taking maybe 10 minutes to eat, and washing, and then sending the plate back to the kitchen. Afterwards, you stand feeling full. You stand up and step outside the inn.
Alright. I'm going to explore the town for a bit.
Alright, you can either go left or right.
We're going left, because left is always the way to go.
You go left, opposite the direction of the library, when walk on the street, not really expecting much. As you walk, you appreciate the liveliness of the city and the buildings around you. There are many different types of buildings, residential homes, inns, cafes, other artisan buildings. As you continue walking left, you end up coming across an intersection and notice a large building in the corner that looks like a blacksmith. You can visit it or go a different direction. Okay. Excited, you quickly run up to the blacksmith and enter the doors. Immediately, you're assaulted by the immense heat of the room, and you're assailed by the immense heat of the building and the smell of metal and fire. You see that there are many elves as well as some dwarves and other beings. And you can attempt to approach one of the smiths. However, you notice that there is a large-looking wood elf drow elf, in the center, who you can approach. He looks to be the boss.
Alright, I'd like to approach him then.
Approaching the large drow elf, he notices you and turns towards you and kind of asks if you need anything.
Yeah. What kinds of weapons do you make here?
The drow elf looks and asks, well, what kind of weapon are you looking for?
see. What are they called again? Oh yeah, a halberd.
A halberd? Yeah, I can make one for you. Any particular preference for type of metal?
Type of metal?
The drow elf looks at you again, raising an eyebrow and says, yeah, you know, you have the usual metals, iron, steel. If you want a magical metal, it'll cost extra, but I can get that done for you.
There's magical metal?
The man looks at you and says, yeah, there's magical metals. They carry magical properties that you can use with your weapon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry if I seemed a bit shocked. I just recently came to this world. Don't remember much, so kind of shocked me a bit.
The man tells you it's no problem. He tells you that the most common magical metal is manulin. It's incredibly rare and only forms in magic-rich environments. However, its ability to channel mana allows you to not only shoot spells from it, but also channel your mana into to make your weapon even stronger. The drow elf explains that he has some manulin on him if he wants to use it to make your halberd. However, it's going to cost you extra.
How much extra?
The man looks at you and says, well, he kind of grabs your hands, looks at your hands, and kind of takes measurements in his head for how large it is. And feeling your hands, he's like, okay, well, the size halberd you'd need with the tip, with the spear made of manulin, 15 gold pieces.
15 gold. Oh. How much left would I be with? I believe I have only 22 left.
Yeah.
10. Don't mind me, just go. I know how to do math. Oh yeah, 7. I would be left with 7. Yeah, I definitely spent that on the spot. Didn't have to search it up on Google. Is there a way I could find some of my own?
Find your own manulin?
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you and says, I mean, unless you want to go to the mines of the underground, not particularly.
Mine. I have to put my bag in. They have to put my research on hold then. Alright then. I would mine. Where would I find that? Okay, by the way. Vodka, Japanese, make cookies.
Listen. Anyways, yeah, continue.
Where would I find the mine?
He said, well, if your best chance of finding manulin would be in the drow elf kingdom of Salfantis. But that would be a very long journey away and probably take you a few weeks.
Few weeks? What if I flew there?
The drow elf explains that even if you flew to Salfantis, the entire nation is underground, and if you're not a drow elf, you will quickly get lost, so you'll probably have to pay for a guide anyways.
Alright then. I'll pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I hand him 15 gold pieces then.
Mm-hmm. You hand him 15 gold pieces, and he tells you that your halberd... Yeah. He tells you that the halberd will be ready tomorrow evening.
Alright then. I'll be back seeing them tomorrow evening.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
He thanks you for your patronage, and you exit the blacksmith. Now standing on an intersection. Left, if you go right, you'll go back the way you came. Alternatively, you can keep going left.
I would like to keep going left.
Mm-hmm. You continue down your path, exploring the area, appreciating the sights, when, there are a bunch of things that catch your eye. So a bunch of buildings, nothing that really stands out to you. You continue walking until eventually you reach the, walking for about an hour, and eventually reach the end of the city.
Mm-hmm. Alright then. Might as well head back then. Going right.
Mm-hmm. Feeling satisfied with your walk and your appreciation of the city, you decide you decide to head back. You decide to head back to where you are. You head back to the inn, and eventually return, deciding where to go next.
Alright. Head to the library and I can read some books. Something I can't do on a daily basis.
You walk toward, eventually return to the library, with it being about noon, and enter inside once again.
Well, I'm back, so I'm gonna go back to the class and start reading about more of the god.
You head up to the second floor again and look at the bookshelves. You kind of take a more serious scan at the books, and thinking about what Elman said last night, decide to actually look at how many gods there are out of curiosity. You go down the list, and the list starts to shock you a bit, you admit. As you go down the list, you see, in alphabetical order, there is the beast goddess Ravaya, the bladed god Arios, the cosmic god Andromeda, the god of air Gylius, the god of chaos Eris, the god of dark Zolitl, the god of death Null, the god of destruction Levi, the god of fire Melkar, the god of light Mendius, the god of lightning Zovar, the god of order Orion, the god of power Vermeis, the god of Sealens Philo, the god of snow Simon, the god of storms Rekos, the god of the desert Kinshin, the god of time Kronos, the goddess of creation Fiona, the goddess of creation Phenia, the goddess of earth Gaia, the goddess of earth Praxida, the goddess of judgment Vritra, the goddess of life Tia, the goddess of judgment Vavtia, the goddess of life Tia, the goddess of love Alice, the goddess of peace Fiona, the goddess of the skies Yoheved, the goddess of water, the goddess of war, I read that wrong, the goddess of war Tirana, the goddess of water Lifa, the human god Daedalus, the insect god Kilgar, the monster god Cassiel, the mythical goddess Seraphiel, the primal god Omniel, and the ranged god Delos. After counting, you concur that there is 34 gods here.
Oh my god. 34 gods. And one of them could have sent me to this world. The god Daedalus, let's assume that's the person. No. Alright. I decide I'm gonna go down the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it puts spaces between my commas. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Going
I
down the list.
decide I'm gonna.
Yeah, you remember
Oh, go ahead.
the two most important ones that besides Daedalus that that they mentioned were Seraphiel and Cassiel.
Alright. Seraphim. It is.
You decided to start first with the mythical goddess Seraphiel.
How do I spell it? Is that how I spell it?
Not even close.
Mythical god?
Mythical goddess.
Yep, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't mind the spelling.
You read the introduction page for the mythical goddess Seraphiel. It says, the inventor and proprietor of magic, empress of the Fae, and goddess of magic. The most powerful god besides Omnial, Seraphiel serves as the de facto queen of the gods. She was one of the first three gods created alongside Cassiel and Daedalus. She created the concept of magic that exists in Althvinhaim, and is therefore capable of using every single type of magic, including race magic. It is said that her...
Oh, I'm gonna keep that in my brain, by the way. I'm gonna keep that race magic shit in my brain. I'm like, race magic.
It is said that her mana pool is essentially infinite, and she could cast dozens of ultimate spells at a whim if she chose to. Besides her role in creating magic, Seraphiel is also known as the mythical goddess for her creation of the mythical races, the most well-known being the Fae. The Fae would be the first race to inhabit Althvinhaim along with the demons. Later on, Seraphiel would also make the phoenix and unicorns during the mythical age. Because her creations tended to be incredibly powerful, Seraphiel wouldn't create any more races after the mythical age and left it to Cassiel and Daedalus. Seraphiel takes on the appearance of an incredibly tall human female. Roughly 10 feet tall, Seraphiel towers over most other gods. Her hair is an aurora of colors that is constantly changing due to her magical existence. Her eyes also carry the same properties. She wears a dress that is the color of the night sky, with stars actively glimmering on them and moving. Her skin is a beautiful snow white, and her appearance makes even the gods stop and stare.
That's all I'm putting down. Basically, Hera build.
More, not wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You continue reading the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Mm-hmm. You continue reading the book and learn about the more about Seraphiel. It said that Seraphiel, the most powerful of the gods, created the first ever supreme entity, the Fae Monarch. She instructed the first Fae Monarch, or a Fae, to protect and watch over the Fae and the subsequent Great Fairy Forest. And despite this, after this, she would take a very hands-off approach, only creating a few other selective races like the Phoenix and the Unicorns during the Mythical Age. Seraphiel's existence is often a mystery. Everyone knows that she exists, but it's said that the only people who have ever seen her that aren't gods was the first Fae Monarch or a Fae. Beyond that, no one has ever seen Seraphiel, only able to go off of descriptions based on what the first Fae Monarch described her to be. Because of this, Seraphila continues to be an elusive god, and that perplexes the minds of many god scholars.
Is that it then?
You finished reading the book after 2 hours.
Alright, then. Alright. On to the next one.
You then open up the book on Cassiel, the monster god.
Alright. The last primordial god then. Not primordial, god damn it. Wait, I got that right?
Not entirely wrong, one could say. You read the introduction page. The monster god Cassiel, one of the 3 original gods, both the monster god and the god of strength. Cassiel is the creator of all monsters in the world of Althvinhaim. Alongside Seraphil and Daedalus, Cassiel was one of the first 3 gods made after Amniel's death. He is responsible for the creation of the monsters you see in the world, both intelligent and unintelligent. He is also a master of physical strength, and no other god can come close to his physical abilities. His technique is so powerful that just his punches can shatter ultimate spells. Cassiel has by far created the most races in the world, his first being the demons, the leviathans, and the dragons. Along with the Fae, the demons would be the first race to inhabit the world of Althvinhaim. However, they would reside in the demon realm rather than the overworld. The Leviathans and the dragons would be his first creations to inhabit the overworld, and as everyone knows, both races are extremely powerful and not to be taken lightly. Later on, during the Monster Age, Cassiel would create even more monsters like the Slimes and Undead. Cassiel takes on the form of an incredibly built, middle-aged human male. He wears light but tight clothing all over his body, which is covered by body armor made of an infinitely tough material. The body armor is a mix of hues that change depending on Cassiel's emotions. He has a white beard and hair with gold eyes. His most prominent feature is his 6 arms, of which he has perfect control over each.
Wait, Azeroth? Hold on. We have 6 arms. It's this motherfucker. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's been... I can find an image of him. I have Discord on my phone open, so I'm too busy typing shit down. This motherfucker. Basically, this motherfucker.
Oh, never heard of him.
Honestly, really good game. Yeah, but basically what you're describing him is basically that. He has 6 arms, white hair, kind of golden eyes, more like just pure white, but
Well,
yeah, it's basically that. Well, I thought he was going to be a furry, I'm not going to lie.
Anyways, you continue reading about Cassiel, the monster god. It said that Cassiel's first creations were obviously the demons. With the demons, Cassiel also created the Demon Emperor, who would quickly begin to construct his empire in the demon realm. Beyond this, Cassiel would also make the Leviathans, who would end up using Dalhaven as a battleground. It's clear that the creations Cassiel made were very strong and meant to represent his image as the god of strength. However, Cassiel would then take on a backseat, only making one race during the mythical age in the form of the dragons. Cassiel would also task each of the true elemental gods to create a dragon lord for each elemental dragon to rule over them. These dragon lords would end up becoming the next 6 supreme entities during the mythical age. After this, during this age, Cassiel would also create the King Hydra, the title bestowed upon the second Leviathan supreme entity. During this time, the Mermaid Queen would also be born from the Leviathan, becoming the next supreme entity. And Cassiel would then take a long break, making new races, not having a single hand in the human or development age. However, the following age, the monster age, would see his his whole final expansion. He believed that after the end of the development age, the people of Althvinhaim were finally developed enough to handle his monsters, so he began to introduce them into the world. All the monsters you know today, the slimes, the goblins, the skeletons, the zombies, the vampires, orcs, and the kobolds, were all created by Cassiel, introduced during this age as a way to test the mortal races. This would bring a big halt to expansion in both Dalhaven and Kestriel. However, Elvania will be largely untouched by said monster age due to the sheer power of the elves and the fae. Kestriel's monsters would do a good job of adding true difficulty and strife to the many humanoids and other mortal races. Particularly in Dalhaven, the power of Vasilius would massively wane, even leading to them losing their control over Akron, their then colony. The Monster Age created a true diversity and a sense of natural order and survival of the fittest within Althvinhaim, which is exactly what Cassiel wanted to achieve. After this age, Cassiel, satisfied with his creations, like his other fellow original gods, took a back seat and let the mortal races kind of assume control over the world.
Alright, that should be it for that. There's so many other guys. I don't want to leave for the census here. Or sent me here. What reason would a murder god some person, a random person here? Oh, I don't know. I think I might be done for the day then. Actually, done one about gods for the day.
Deciding that learning about the first three original gods, you put the books away and decide to leave the library. It's now the afternoon, maybe around 5 p.m., and you're curious on what you want to do next.
I'm gonna probably walk around and see what else is there in this town.
Satisfied with your work, with your reading in the library, you decide to continue your journey exploring Haeldradia. You walk around town, exploring and appreciating the sights, not taking in some scenes, when suddenly you hear a voice calling out to you. It's Ren, and he's on the other side of the street.
Oh, hey, Ren.
He waves.
How's it?
He says he's been doing good, and asks if you were exploring the city.
Yeah, I just got done at the library for the day, so I'm just exploring around the city.
Ren smiles, saying that he was doing the same, and asks if you'd like to visit one of his favorite cafes.
Sure, why not?
You follow him, and he leads you along a path, and you eventually arrive at a very large cafe. The scenery is very nice, with multiple chairs outside, umbrellas. Reminds you of a modern Starbucks, but a bit more elaborate.
Oh, God. Please tell me that baristas put up with our shit.
You enter the cafe. Enter
What
the
do they
cafe.
have here then?
Ren looks at you and says, "Oh, they got plenty of things: pastries, desserts, small snacks, drinks."
Alright then. I think I just have a small snack then.
You you stand in line with you stand in line with Ren, and eventually reach the front. As you look at the menu, you don't really recognize the names of the pastries, but you can by the shape of it. You see muffins, bagels, cookies, small cakes, cheesecakes, and as well as recognizing the cheesecake, you decide that's what you're gonna order. Ren orders a large smoothie, and you order what looks like a cheesecake. You're handed a large slice, and Ren takes their drink, and you both sit down at a nearby table. The atmosphere in the cafe is very nice. There are large windows allowing for a lot of natural light, and it's very lively with a lot of conversations happening. Ren asks how you're liking the city so far.
Amazing so far.
He smiles, glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I recently just kind of had someone make me a weapon that's going to be coming in tomorrow, so...
Ren seems interested. What kind of weapon did you get?
A halberd.
Ren seems intrigued. Interesting. He continues sipping on his drink as you take the first bites of this cheesecake. It does indeed taste like cheesecake.
So what have you been up to?
Ren said, "Oh, not
What's
much."
the food still in my mouth?
He says he has a job at he says he's currently a student at Haeldradia's university, but has a side job working.
Really?
Yeah, but has a side job working at a cafe different from this one. He'd like to work at this one, but it's too far away from where he lives.
I guess that's fair. And mostly I've just, like I said, mostly just at the library. It's been really peaceful so far, actually. First time I came here, I had to fight a Syntrax.
Ren kind of hearing that Ren kind of spits out their drink a bit, coughing a bit, and looks at you and says, "You're the fallen angel who defeated the Syntrax." It was all over the news, Ren says. In the papers, it's talking about how the General Roland, along with a fallen angel, defeated a Syntrax found just on the outskirts of the forest near the oasis.
Word spread quickly around here.
Could you repeat that?
I see word spread quickly around here.
Ren kind of says, "I don't really know about that. It's just that the appearance and the defeat of a Syntrax is pretty big news across Elvania. Syntraxes, as I'm sure you know, with their voracious appetite, will never really stay in one place at once. A Syntrax that was spotted in the Haeldradia's forest one day could end up at the plateau of the sun in 3 days later. Their never-ending appetite and incredible stamina allows them to traverse large distances incredibly quickly. And so when a Syntrax is spotted, all nations immediately park up their guard just to ensure that it doesn't sneak up on them. I'm sure word has already spread around most of Elvania now that a Syntrax was spotted and defeated."
Interesting. I'm thinking to myself, why would the god of monsters create something that monstrous. So, I mean, I'm just makes makes sense, but geez, we can tone it down a bit. Let's see here.
So Red kind of looks at you and says, does that really mean you met General Roland?
Huh?
The Ren looks at you and asks, so does that mean that you've met General Roland?
Yeah, I met General Roland. He was a pretty chill guy.
Ren,
Definitely
you
strong.
serious? I mean, he's more than just pretty skilled. He's probably the second strongest wood elf in the entire world.
I almost choke on my cheesecake for a little bit.
He says you didn't know? Besides the current king of the wood elves, Roland is considered the protector of the forest, the patron to the wood elves. He oversees the entire forest. In fact, the king has given him dominion over most of the Haeldradia's forest outside of Sawalonia, tasking him with protecting it, keeping us safe from monsters. He has an incredible mana pool and understanding of magic, and knows this forest like the back of his hand. He's an incredible wizard and fighter and spy that has that like every wood elf knows the name of.
Well, I feel like you should have let me know that. A little bit.
Ren kind of chuckles a bit. He says, yeah, General Roland is kind of known for liking to keep a low profile and doesn't particularly enjoy the praise, so he probably avoided keeping that information from you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ren kind of perks up again, saying, well, it's still really cool that you met the general. A lot of people love needing him to ask him questions about magic and military strategy. And likely explains why it was in the news as well, that the great wood elf general, alongside a mysterious fallen angel, defeated a Syntrex. If you think about it from the perspective of a news reporter, that's a pretty good story.
Yeah. But I technically be some sort of celebrity now?
Ren kind of says, well, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Ren kind of shrugs at the thought.
That's fair. How did you get that big of a mana pool? This is what you say is true.
Wait, say that again?
If what you say is true, how did he get that big of a mana pool?
Ren kind of tilts his head at you and saying, wait, you don't know how to raise your mana level?
No, I don't.
Ren says, oh, it's actually really simple. There are two ways of raising your mana level. One is by defeating magical beasts and eating the cores they drop to increase your mana pool. The alternative is essentially meditation. Sitting down in a quiet area and really focusing your mana. Trying to sense the world around you using only your mana, not any of your senses. And by concentrating your aura and your mana pool, and by understanding the world in a more magical sense using said meditation, you can increase your mana pool. It takes a while, but diligence and practice with it, meditating every single day, practicing raising it even for only an hour or two each day, you'll find yourself that, like, in a few years, you'll easily able to quadruple your mana pool.
Interesting.
Right. Although the process is rather slow and you have to be very diligent about it. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it, and the faster your mana pool will increase. However, a lot of people don't really have time for such... Say that again. No, you continue.
So would you say eating monsters better or meditating?
It really depends. Obviously, meditating is much safer and much more assured, but and actively searching out for magical monsters isn't as reliant. Personally, I prefer the meditation route.
I guess that's fair.
Bruh.
You said there's less than 10 Syntrex in the world?
At a time, yeah.
At a time?
Yeah.
So are they all in Albania?
More or less.
and just hiding out in the forest.
Well, not always.
Oh. Alright. Well, it's been fun. Alright. Alright. Man, I gotta love being interrupted each and every single time. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
God. Alright. So yeah, I finished my cheesecake and I decide to leave. But I did ask, do you want me to pay for this, or?
Ren says it's fine that he has it covered. His treat.
Thank you. Alright, I'll be off then.
Ren waves goodbye to you, and you exit the cafe. At this point, it's probably it's closer to evening, maybe around 8 p.m.
See what. I'd try to explore a little bit more of the city then before going to sleep.
Before returning back to the inn, you decide to explore the city a bit more, familiarizing yourself with the locals and the city. Eventually, as the sun starts to set, you return to the inn, feeling much more familiar with the city and more confident with your directions.
I decide.
Lol.
Yay. Alright then. I decide to go back up to my room and decide to meditate a little bit before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm. You heading up to your room, it's probably around 9-10 p.m. So deciding to an attempt to raise your mana level. You sit on your bed where it's nice and quiet and kind of close your eyes, crossing your legs, and try to ignore all your senses, ignoring your sight, your smell, your taste, your hearing, all of it. Focusing entirely on your magic, you begin to feel releasing your mana out into the room around you. After maybe 30 minutes, you start getting the hang of it and are able to almost see the room around you in an omnidirectional way, and are even able to look at yourself through your mana. Staying like this, you explore your room and explore your mana, feeling like you get a deeper understanding of it. After about 2 hours of this, you, as it is basically midnight at this point, you decide that now is enough to now is enough.
Yeah, go to bed.
Yeah, to go to sleep. You feel that your mana pool has increased by about 15.
15. So it's down to 15. Alright. New morning.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be writing this all down, but
You don't?
fear of being corrupt. Yeah.
Also, you have a mana pool of 500. What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, I thought. Is that angels or fallen angels that have
Your
mana
fallen
pool?
angels are demons, so.
Okay. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I was thinking of angels, I think.
Yeah, probably. You fall asleep after meditating and wake up to a late morning. With feeling refreshed, you decide to... Feeling refreshed, you get out of bed, stretch, and decide what you're going to do for today. You still have lots of time before your halberd is ready around the evening, and basically have some time to kill.
Yeah. Might as well practice on my mana control then. Might as well meditate a bit.
Mm-hmm. How long do you want to meditate for?
Until the halberd is finished.
Okay. You decide to just meditate for the rest of the day until the evening comes, and continue practicing. After last session, you feel a bit more comfortable with it, and quickly get the hang of it. It's a bit boring, you admit to yourself, but for the sake of benefiting your mana pool, you concentrate heavily and try to really understand your mana. You feel that as time goes on, you start to understand the world around you and magic more and more. It feels odd, 'cause it's almost like an instinctual thing that's growing inside of you, but you spend a while and practice and continue increasing your mana pool slowly and slowly, and can feel more and more mana flowing into you as time goes on. You do this for about 8 hours. For about 8 hours until the sun starts to set and you notice, and your magic level raises by 65. Hmm?
No, not 575, right?
65.
Wait, no, 580.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do basic math, Elpis.
You didn't teach me basic math. I had to teach myself. You couldn't even give me a math book.
Realizing it's evening, you decide to... You head out of the bar, not the bar, the inn, and go to the blacksmith.
Hey, I'm back.
The drow elf welcomes you back, and asks if you're here for your halberd.
Yeah, I'm here.
He comes from the back and brings you your halberd. The halberd is long, sturdy, and the pole itself and the staff seems to be made of some sort of steel or other powerful ore, but the entire tip and spear tip, essentially, large spear tip, is made out of a glowing light purple metal. The drow elf explains to you that the top of the halberd is made out of manulin, and he advises you to basically try to pour your mana into the halberd.
Alright.
You take the halberd from him and hold it like in the sky, feeling yourself pour your mana into it. After pouring about 50 mana into the halberd, it begins to glow brightly. The drow elf explains the more mana you pour into it, the sharper and more durable it will become. And conversely, if you are holding the weapon while you cast a spell, that's if the conditions are right, the spell will be shot from the halberd.
Oh. Really interesting. Kind of reminds me of Thank you, by the way.
No problem. You exit the blacksmith with your new halberd in hand, and you kind of put it onto your back to kind of carry it. There's still a few hours left in the day for you to spend.
Cool. I decided to go to the guild.
The Adventurers Guild?
Oh, good hole. Yeah.
With a few hours of daylight left, you head over to the Adventurers Guild in the city and enter.
Oh, no, that's in
Inouye Bozo is muted.
Alright, there you go. I should not be interrupted for the night. Alright. I would like to take a quest. Is there a quest board around?
You go up to the quest board and remember that, you remember the receptionist, you can only take on E rank and D rank quests thanks to your current level. You look at the E rank quests, and many of them are simply catch are basically harvest missions, collect resources, help carry goods. However, the D rank missions do have some fighting missions, defeat some slimes, defeat some goblins, etc., etc.
Fight him. Fight him. We're murdering every single species on this planet.
You look for the board and see a request to defeat some goblins making camp near Haeldradia. You decide to take this quest on.
I'll take it.
And the requirement is to defeat 15 goblins, and the reward is 10 silver.
Alright. This would be a good start.
You go up to the receptionist and ask to take on the quest, and they request your name, which you provide, and they sign it onto the quest. They say that you have a week to complete the quest.
Oh, it should be easy. I decide to head out.
And do you know that it is almost nighttime?
Yeah.
Okay.
We make only good decisions here.
Even though it's almost nighttime, you decide to set off anyways, using the map provided to you by the receptionist. You fly north of the city and eventually pass over the city grounds. And begin searching for the goblins. An hour passes and you don't really find anything. At this point, the sun is so close to setting. However, with just a few, maybe half an hour of daylight left, you notice the goblin troop moving through the woods.
Alright. I decide to use one of my skills to go invisible. Probably pulling up a skill list. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I definitely did that.
You begin to approach the goblins, and they quickly notice you. You count 17 goblins, more than enough to complete the quest, and they begin to ready their makeshift weapons that are mainly clubs and flimsy swords.
Alright, I decide I'm not gonna try to use magic for this, so I'm gonna use my halberd, since it works in twine with Weapon Master.
Readying your halberd, you activate your advanced skill Weapons Master and begin to quickly understand how to use the halberd. The goblins, 5 goblins charge at you at once, each aiming to attack you.
Alright. I decide to attack the goblins to defend myself.
The goblins all charge at you at once, and the goblins all charge at you at once, jumping you at the same time. Using the halberd and combined with Weapons Master, you're able to, in one swing, dispatch 2 of them, but the other 3 you're unable to hit them with one swing.
Alright. I decide to use Cloud of Fog and intertwine with Daze.
Dodging the goblins' attack. Actually, willingly getting hit by the goblins because you didn't choose to dodge. You let their attacks hit you, and they don't really do much. Although, it's not exactly the smartest decision to just let them attack you. I don't know why you do that, but it's your choice, not mine.
Oh my god, I hate you.
When them landing next to you, you activate Cloud of Fog combined with Daze to daze the goblins. The last 3 remaining goblins are now confused.
Alright, cut their heads off.
You swing the halberd, decapitating all 3 in one swift motion, but as you do so, the other 12 goblins, realizing your threat, begin to all rush at you at once.
Oh, perfect. Alright, hold on, let me see. I decide to use, I think it was Tornado, right? Yep, I decided to use Tornado.
You extend your hand, casting Tornado, creating a large tornado 4 meters high that suck in all the goblins, and they begin barreling towards the tornado. After maybe about 15 meters, the tornado crashes into the tree, and the goblins all go flying. None of them were killed by the attack, but they're all clearly disorganized and kind of dazed.
Okay, bet. Use Wind Splash to finish them off. And if it doesn't work, then I intertwine it with Daze, so I can finish the rest if they try to run away.
You activate Windblade, and using it, you cut off the heads of a few goblins, but like I said, they're separated, so you can't exactly hit all of them at once, you dumb fuck. Regardless, you managed to kill 2 of them with Windblade, and there are 10 left. They're still kind of confused, but they're starting to get up.
Alright, fine. I decide to use the halberd and just kill them all while they're trying to get up. Or most of them.
Say that again?
Oh, I decide to charge at them with the halberd.
Extending your wings, you fly towards the goblins, dispatching as many as you can before they start to get up. You manage to kill 6 of them before the other 4 start attacking you again.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the halberd to finish them off then. While
Not afraid
dodging.
anymore, with the majority of the goblins now killed. With a swift motion of your halberd, you dispatch the rest of the goblins. Collecting their ears as proof.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah. You collect their ears as proof as instructed by the receptionist. However, it's already dark outside and really fucking difficult to see, so.
Go ahead. Oh, hold on. I decided to wait, how dark is it?
You can barely see 5 feet in front of you.
Can I see what is in front of me? Like text or words?
Yeah?
Okay, I decide to open up I use my pocket dimension and open up the basic light spell to see if I can find something to illuminate the area.
You take out your Light 101 guide, your Light 101 book, which covers greater light spells, and attempt to look for something that can light up the area. You scan the list and look for something.
Anything. Alright. Did I open up the light spells then?
The best spell you can find is Gleaming Aura, that coats the user in a glowing aura that protects them most effectively from dark spells, but also other elemental spells. Regardless of its actual purpose, it will light you up slightly.
Alright. I guess I can use that to fly home then.
Yeah. Standing in the darkness, it takes you maybe 30 minutes to get the hang of the spell, and you are eventually able to, where is the Elpis memories? And you eventually cast the, spell Gleaming Aura, and coat yourself in an aura. It's not much, but it allows you to see much further, and you begin flying back to Haeldradia. The spell runs out as you just as you reach the city, and enter the city again. Tired after the fight, you quickly go to the guild to deposit the goblin materials, and they give you the 10 silver as a reward.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna go sleep now.
You left the receptionist, and return to the inn, and fall asleep. I think that's a good place to stop. It's been like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the previous part of the session was an hour, so it's been 3 hours
That's like
technically.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Gives me time to write more compared to doing stuff.
Alright, that was good.
Honestly, pretty good.
I'm gonna stop.
Feel like
now.